Jesus often drew aside and went up the mountain. He went to be alone. The practice of solitude is a great spiritual discipline for us to turn off the noise, get away from the distractions and those things that pull us back to the way of the world. And as Jesus demonstrated to us, very often he drew away from the disciples to be alone with his Father. And solitude is a hiding away to, not a hiding away from. It's to get to a place where you are alone with God. And in the practice of solitude, one of the other cousins of solitude is silence. We're very uncomfortable with silence. And most people in conversations, and certainly within cultures, there's different comfortable moments of silence. But then within our culture, we have about a 3 or 4 second gap where we can actually endure that silence before we have to interact. And with the spiritual discipline of silence, it's really the practice of waiting for God to speak. And solitude and silence go so well together, but we have to practice being quiet. So very often for us, for those of us that have walked with the Lord, when we get alone and we have our quiet times, often it's prayer, or it's reading scripture, or it's worship. Silence is none of those. Silence is getting alone with God and sitting still, without the word even open, without worship in the background, but sitting in silence. Many of us would be threatened by that, and certainly my journey with silence and solitude has been one of those where I was very reluctant to go to it, because when we're alone and when we're quiet, then we're not really quiet. We actually have thoughts that we have to push aside and thoughts that we have to wrestle with, and that's the great place where we take those thoughts to God and we keep on giving them back to Him and saying, God, I want you to dominate my thinking. I want you to be in my day to day. I want you to be the one that fills my silence.